Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 1, Nether Realm of the Dead. Chapter 26, Leaving the Ship. 26th of Volume 1. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Back at the medical tent, everything seemed normal. Li Wei breathed a silent sigh of relief. Kai Yutong, Gao Huan, Lao Lu, and the others had known Li Wei's purpose for entering the tomb forest and had been waiting outside. Seeing him return, they assumed he had succeeded and immediately pressed him for details. That white bone demon is no ordinary foe. She can already leave her tomb. Even with all my strength and techniques, I could only hold her at bay. Li Wei's face was etched with worry. If he couldn't eliminate her, she could do as she pleased to some extent. If she truly attacked the expedition team members, they would be utterly defenseless. Moreover, there was also the camel-riding ghost, whose fate, whether its soul had been scattered or not, remained unknown. Are you injured? Kai Yutong noticed the bloodstains on Li Wei's clothes. It's nothing serious. Li Wei issued orders, notify everyone that no one is allowed to enter the tomb forest from now on. The moment they hear camel bells, they must immediately put in earplugs. Also, be wary of Dr. Qi. What's wrong with her? Kai Yutong was concerned for Qi Shanshan's safety. Li Wei hesitated for a moment, then said uncertainly, she may have been possessed by the white bone demon. Kai Yutong's expression was somber. Though she had long suspected Qi Shanshan might already be in trouble, this outcome seemed even harder to accept. It might not be possession, Li Wei comforted her condition feels strange. Brother Wei, the first mate is awake. Qin Ke shouted joyfully from the entrance of the medical tent. Li Wei's spirits lifted. All his worries and distractions vanished from his mind as he hurried inside. The two brothers exchanged laughter and stories. Zhao Meng sat up, looking troubled. Am I a giant now? I'm at least 3 meters tall, and my legs are as thick as water buckets. Li Wei said, if I had any other choice, I would never have fed you black dragon blood, senior brother. Sensing Li Wei's guilt, Zhao Meng quickly laughed, I think it's great. I feel incredibly strong. Maybe I could even catch a tiger with my bare hands. How about we spar, little brother? Are you brave enough? Zhao Meng hadn't shed his skin, nor did he show any signs of a mortal transformation in his skin. It seemed that everyone's transformation after drinking golden crow blood and black dragon blood was different. Even Li Wei's appearance hadn't changed at all. Li Wei asked, no need to gesture. I have something important to ask senior brother. Do you still remember eldest senior sister Xuanhuan? Zhao Meng's mind instantly conjured the image of the peerless beauty he could never forget in this lifetime. Why are you suddenly bringing up eldest senior sister? I remember eldest senior sister stayed at the sect for 3 years, but I was too young back then to remember much. Where was eldest senior sister from? Why did she never return to the sect? Did something happen? Li Wei asked. It wasn't 3 years, it was 2.5. Zhao Meng reminisced about the past. Eldest senior sister was closest to you. It's a pity you were too young to remember. If you were just a little older, she would have been the woman you could never forget in your life. She was too extraordinary, not like someone who belonged to this world. Stop reminiscing about your youth. I'm asking about something serious, Li Wei said. Zhao Meng replied, tell me what's on your mind first. It's not something I can explain in a few words. Li Wei had asked about the eldest senior sister because the language red-clad Qi Shanshan and the ghost shadow on the camel used to communicate was the same as the eldest senior sister's native tongue. Li Wei had been young at the time, but he hadn't forgotten. He had studied that language with the eldest senior sister, which allowed him to understand their conversation roughly. Zhao Meng said, Master told me that the eldest senior sister came from a minority tribe overseas. After leaving the sect, she returned home. I've sailed the seas many times since then, searching all over the world, but I've never been able to find that mysterious tribe. Didn't you ask Master? Li Wei asked. Zhao Meng replied, of course I asked. But Master told me to stop prying and give up the idea. He even scolded me, calling me a country bumpkin who wasn't worthy of the eldest senior sister. It's not fair. I just wanted to see her again, don't you? Of course I do. But I think we might be able to find her in this world, Li Wei said meaningfully, his mind racing with thoughts. 2 days later. Li Wei stood at the bow of the bronze warship, gazing at the crimson sea. His mood grew increasingly heavy. He had entered the tomb forest multiple times to search for red-clad Qi Shanshan and the ghost shadow named Xuanhuan, but to no avail. He suspected the two fiends had hidden themselves within a grave mound to recover from their injuries. There were simply too many graves to dig up one by one. What if they unearthed the third fiend instead? As the bronze warship sped through the water, the number of coffins on the sea surface grew denser and more numerous, soon converging into a vast coffin sea that stretched to the horizon. A dark, oppressive mass blocked the ship's path, slowing its progress to an unprecedented crawl, as if it were about to come to a complete stop. The coffins varied in size and design. Some were enormous, reaching hundreds of meters in length, their black wooden surfaces adorned with demonic carvings and bound by chains as thick as a man's waist. The corpses entombed within remained a mystery. In other areas, thousands of coffins had piled together to form floating islands, from which crimson vines sprouted. The roots of these vines remained hidden, their origins unknown. The entire coffin sea was eerily silent. It was unclear whether this stillness had always been present or had only descended with the arrival of the bronze warship. Li Wei turned to Xuanhuan beside him and said, "Explain this. What place from myth and legend is this? And where did all these coffins come from? We've sailed this way for a while now, and we've seen no fewer than several million coffins, perhaps even close to 10 million. And that's just what we've seen. They seem to be driven by some unknown force, all converging here." Xuanhuan's lips parted, and after a moment's thought, he replied calmly, "Perhaps they all fell from the macrocosm world, just like we did. There are countless planets in the universe, and Earth certainly isn't the only one with life. After those lifeforms are buried, some special phenomenon might cause them to fall into the microscopic world." After Zhao Meng awoke, Xuanhuan was the first to drink the golden crow blood. Shedding his mortal shell, he transformed into an immortal, his skin as white as warm jade. Like Kai Yutong, his physical strength increased significantly, rivaling that of peak condition athletes. But his height had shrunk drastically. He was already only 1.65 meters tall, and now he was barely 1.5 meters. Besides sharing the surname Gao, he had nothing in common with the word tall. "Hey, Lord Li, what's that red figure on the sea below?" Xuanhuan exclaimed. Li Wei's vision was far superior. Even from hundreds of meters away, he could clearly see the figure leaping across the floating coffins. It was Qi Shanshan. She actually got off from the boat. Red-clad Qi Shanshan sprouted a pair of fiery wings from her back and clutched someone in her arms. In an instant, she landed on a massive floating island made entirely of coffins. She glanced back at Li Wei on the ship's bow and pointed a finger at the person in her arms, Kai Yutong. Then, without looking back, she plunged into the depths of the coffin island, disappearing into the swirling mist. Is that the red-clad white-bone demon? Did she kidnap Dr. Kai? What does she want? She's just a skeleton, so leaving the bronze warship is no big deal for her. But how will Dr. Kai survive? Xuanhuan pursued Li Wei, heading toward the medical tent and the broken expedition ship. She did this on purpose, trying to lure me off the ship. Li Wei found the rope tied to the hull for drawing water. It was clear red-clad Qi Shanshan had used this to climb down. How dare she? Does she even know what this place is? Wei, something terrible has happened. Dr. Kai was attacked by Dr. Qi. Zhao Meng, Lao Lu, and a group of others rushed over, their faces etched with urgency. Li Wei replied, "I know. They've already left the ship." As she left, she said something very strange. "If Li Wei wants to know who he truly is, I can give him the answer. He should come find me." Zhao Meng repeated the words exactly. "Who am I?" Li Wei frowned, having never considered this question before. But with the appearance of the white-bone demon and the so-called the guardian wife, everything had become shrouded in mystery. Every person must have an origin. He gripped the rope tightly, hesitating. It wasn't that he was afraid to climb down. He knew there was an even more terrifying ghost still on board, and he worried about his senior brother and the others if he left. But if everyone got off from the boat, their path ahead was uncertain. This coffin sea was too eerie. No one knew how many dangers lurked within. Once the bronze warship sailed away, they would lose all hope. It stopped. The bronze warship seems to have come to a complete halt. Xuanhuan leaned against the hull, gazing out at the sea. Clang! Clang! In the tomb forest, the clanging of camel bells and the howling wind intensified, rushing towards the ship's railing. "Watch out!" Li Wei strode forward, circulating the cold and hot qi within him to form a heaven-splitting palm seal. He slammed it towards a cloud of nether mist that had erupted from above the tombstones. Boom! The terrifying force within the nether mist cloud sent Li Wei flying over the railing. A ghost shadow astride a camel soared high over the railing amidst the deafening camel bells. It swung its ghost banner through the air, aiming for Li Wei's waist and abdomen, intending to strike him down to his death in the sea. The situation was dire. Ignoring the fact that he was plummeting through the air, Li Wei drew the yellow dragon sword from his back and swung it to block the attack. Boom! The two forces collided. Li Wei's qi and blood churned within him, and he accelerated his descent. To make matters worse, the camel bells and ghost banner struck again. The ghost shadow, unconcerned about falling, was determined to kill him. In this near-certain death trap, Li Wei's spring points in the soles of his feet surged wildly. Qi flooded all 26 of his meridian veins as he unleashed Yellow Dragon ascending the heaven. With his first step, he seemed to tread on a cloud of wind and qi, stabilizing his descent. With his second step, he dodged the ghost banner and reached the same height as the ghost shadow. With his third step, Li Wei appeared directly above the ghost shadow's head. In the ghost shadow's stunned gaze, the tables had turned. Die. Li Wei raised his sword high, its light erupting in a golden glow. He swung it down with all his might. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.